Alright guys, today we're going to create a little vase. So we're going to start with this. And I'm going to scale that guy up a little bit, bring it up here. Let's go in the top view. And that's done with a shift right click. I think you got to kind of do them. No, that's right. Hold down shift, then right click. Go into faces. Select these faces and hit delete. And if it doesn't get all of them, do it again, just to get those. Back to perspective view. Okay, cool. Now I'm going to go to edge. Push this guy down. Let's do an extrusion. W. And then R. I don't really know where I'm going with this, but we're going to... You can kind of do your own thing if you want. I'm just doing W, R, E, Control E to extrude. W, Control E, W, and R to, I don't know. Do whatever you want. Okay. Now that we've done that, let's give this thing a little bit of a lip. So we'll do Control E. Let's pull this guy in with R. Control E. W. Let's push this down now. And if you go into wireframe view, you can see through it. Push this down to there. Let's make it out a little bit bigger. So you want to have some space between those two. And then we will do another Control E to extrude it. You don't have to be perfect here. No one's going to see this part, but yeah, something like that. Let's see what it looks like now. Cool. Now here in the bottom, we got a couple of issues. We're going to select this inner edge loop, not this bottom one, but the one that's inside. With the Control E, I'm going to stick it close together from the top. You can see it does that. And then do a shift right click. We're going to merge those to the center so they become one vertex. And you can see if I go into vertex mode and select this point, you can actually move it around. Does that. But don't do that. Z. Okay, so let's select this edge on the bottom. Let's do a Control E. And let's give this a little bit of a kind of a base. Another Control E, R. Let's push that up a little bit, as vases often will be. Another Control E, R. Let's merge these guys to the center and they become one. So now we have a complete, I don't like the way this one looks, but whatever. A complete vase. Now if I hit 3 and it's smooth, it's alright, but I kind of don't want it all rounded like that. So what I'm going to do now is put a couple supporting edge loops in. If I click on edge mode and I shift right click, I go to insert edge loop tool. And let's just make this edge a little harder. And this one too. We're going to put one on each side for this one. You'll see what it does in just a second here. And then maybe here as well. What it's going to do is it's going to make these ones hard, but the rest of them are going to be smooth. So if I go into object mode and hit 3, oops, you kind of see that those edges now are a little bit firmer. Up here in the top, it looks kind of funky, the way it kind of falls in on the edge. So back in selection mode, I'm going to take this edge. Let's insert an edge loop there. And then when you do your edge loop, it's perpendicular. You don't want to click here. You want to click here. And then let's do one inside. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, that's better. A little thicker. Down here at the bottom, how's that looking? I'm going to go ahead and stick an edge loop here as well. And maybe here and here. And you'll get, well, I guess just one because I can't go in there. You'll get better at this as you go. So I'll go into object mode and you can kind of see it. It's starting to look pretty nice. Maybe I decided I wanted to take all these guys and just move them in. If I go to vertex mode, I'll take all these. Oops, gotta go back to selection. I can scale all those in. Make it, I don't know, a little bit more tapered right there. Like that. And then here's a fun thing that you can do, or at least I consider it fun. Maybe because I'm a little bit of a nerd, but ooh, that's not good. If you see that, I'm gonna undo that. I think I went too far. Let's just go like that. Okay. I'm gonna take this edge, double click on it to select it all, and I'm gonna bring it in a little bit. Give it a little nice indent right there. Now if I hit 3, it's kind of gonna go away. So what I need to do, shift right click, insert an edge loop here, and here, and here, and here. And let's see what that does. Ooh, that's pretty. If you want to put another one in, you could. I could put one right here. I'll go 1, 2, 3. Let's take this edge right here, edge mode, pull it in with R. And then I have to support that edge with more edge loops. Insert an edge loop probably here, 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 and here. And you'll get better at this as you go. It's just kind of intuitive now for me, but there we are. It's not a bad looking little vase. And right here I can see my try count right here is 20,000, which is way too much for that. So when I go back into 1, I'm going to finalize this by clicking on the smooth right here. I'm just going to push it once, and it's going to end up being 5,000 tries, which is still way too many for a vase, but it doesn't matter for now. We're going to go with it, and that's not a bad looking vase. If your edges feel weird, mesh display right here kind of determines how light's going to bounce off of these. So if you go harden edges, it's going to look weird like that, which actually isn't so bad. I see some vases that look like that. But if you generally, if you go to soften edges under mesh display, sometimes it's too soft. That's actually fine. But if what I usually find works is soften and harden edges, and what that'll do is it'll round the round parts and kind of sharpen up the not so round parts. It ended up doing that inside, which I kind of like, but if I didn't want that, I think if I did a mesh display as soften edges, it would get rid of that. But it looks kind of weird inside now, so I'll leave it mesh display, soft and hardened edges. And there is our beautiful vase, which we can stick flowers in, do all that. Now the very last thing you'd want to do is your pivot. Right now, it's where this little black box is, this little cross, and that's actually a good place for it. But yeah, so when you bring it under Unreal, that's where the pivot's going to be, not here in the center. So if you want to move the pivot, you hold down D, and you can move it. And up here, you can even snap it to the bottom vertex. So if I hit that, I can push it all the way down, and it'll snap to the bottom here. And then if you wanted to, you could go here and snap that to the grid just to make sure it's right on that center point right there. And then in Unreal, it's going to be easy to move around. So there you have it. If you want to bring this in Unreal, see what it looks like. File, export, selection. Call this static mesh _ vase. And you can put your name next to it so it doesn't interfere with your partners. Put it somewhere you're going to remember, like your documents. And you want to export it as an FBX. So I'll export that now. And then in Unreal, you know, I got it in my document folder. I got way too much in here. There's my static mesh vase. I'm going to copy this, Control C. I'm going to go into the server, find my level, which is, for me, it's just this template. And then I'm going to put it in the content folder. And if you wanted to, you could say, create a new folder for models. And I'm going to paste it. So now if I open up my game, and you can fast forward here while I do that. While I'm waiting, let me just get this on YouTube. ready to go. And then we're going to also learn how to paint these later on, which is fun. Okay, so now in my models folder, let me uncheck that. Nothing's there. Oh, I have to click import. And then this should be fine. Just make sure skeletal mesh is not checked. And it might be the wrong size. It might be really teeny tiny. And if that's the if that's the case, then just scale it up, I guess, for now. And then I could set the material to something cool, like, I don't know, taillights. That's kind of cool. If you hit F, you can center your focus on it. Hit G to get rid of the outline. And you can see what it's going to look like. Now, if you pick a material, and you want to change the material... Oh, that's a weird one. Let me just go ahead and apply the one that come with it, Lambert one. And we can come in here, and we can... base color, you can set it to something else if you want. Like, I'm going to go with green vase. And you can see what it's going to look like over here. And then, man, I forget how to move around in this program when I go back and forth. Metallic, let's set that to a constant of 0, because it's not metal at all, unless you want it to be. Rough, we're going to skip specular. Roughness is how smooth it is. It's the opposite. So 0 would be 100% smooth. I guess I'll make it 1 is 100% rough. So like, I don't know, 0.1, I'll make it kind of glossy. And that's really all you need to do. And you can see what it looks like. I don't really love that. I have to hit save first for it to apply, I think. Yeah. Cool. And if you wanted to get realistic reflections, if you have something really glossy, I'll even pull up metallic so we can see. I'll just set the metallic to 0.5. So save that. And if you really wanted it to capture the reflections properly, you'd put a reflection capture here. And either sphere or box, depending on the shape. And I'll put a sphere. And you can see now it really takes those reflections in. I think you can put it right in the middle of the object. And when you go to build your reflection captures, and it'll cook that for you. Oh, it looks kind of weird, but I guess that'll work. So let's play the game. Doesn't like something, but let's just do it. Okay. Go check out this vase. Oh, and it's fun if you set physics on, you can shoot it and bump it around, and there's even a way to break it, but we're not going to get into that yet. So there it is.